WhatsApp versus Signal. Privacy is a concern as old as the internet itself. Everyone wants their files, data, and online life secured and out of the public eye to one degree or another. This is more prevalent than ever in messaging. Maybe it's a private conversation with a significant other, a classified business exchange, or a suggestion from your accountant. This is one of the spots of your online presence you need to be handled correctly. WhatsApp, the Facebook-owned messenger, has taken this trust built over its 11-year history and put it in question. WhatsApp has been in the public eye a significant amount during the beginning of 2021, due to a major change in its privacy policy. The messenger announced that following this update, they can share data with its owner, Facebook, and its associated apps such as Instagram and Facebook Messenger. Users would be required to accept these terms by February 8th, or be locked out of the app, which has sparked an understandable and nationwide backlash. While WhatsApp was later pressured into postponing the update to May 15th, it did not immediately revise the changes. Of course, at the core of the frustration of this change is the lack of details involving the data sharing policy and the increased Facebook association in general. The social media giant has come under scrutiny during recent years over its data management practices, involving multiple lawsuits, and an overall perception as untrustworthy with personal information. Facebook knows this as well, as they've been running privacy ads for WhatsApp in India following this announcement, trying to reassure one of their fastest-growing markets that they are reliable. In terms of lack of detail, WhatsApp has been criticized for not directly describing how they will be sharing data with their parent, sparking a movement to find an alternative messenger. Quickly following the announcement of this privacy policy change, the otherwise largely unknown messenger Signal rose to explosive success following Twitter endorsement by Tesla CEO Elon Musk and US whistleblower Edward Snowden. The servers of the messenger were quickly overloaded and stalled, and many news organizations tied these endorsements to the WhatsApp controversy, which spelled the perfect storm for Signal's rise. Within a week, the messenger had been downloaded 50 million times, and caused an outage for all users, which was fixed the next day. That's where the situation stands, with WhatsApp leaking users, Signal growing as a mainstream alternative, and Facebook taking a large responsibility for it all. But why Signal? What makes this messenger better than WhatsApp or any other out there? A headlining feature of Signal is the use of encrypted communications. In other words, all exchanges are stored on the user's device, and not in servers where it could be harvested. Other useful additions include group messaging as well as voice and video calls on iOS, Android, and desktop, timed messages that delete after a specified period on every device that interacted with it, and automatic face blurring in photos. While a lot of the app's success can be tied to the WhatsApp controversy and subsequent endorsements, Signal stands up on its own as a true messaging alternative. The specific reason why Facebook and WhatsApp decided to release this policy change when it did is still up in the air. As details regarding the change are still fuzzy and damage control has mostly avoided the issue directly so far, the likely conclusion is for monetary gain. Facebook has found itself in new criticism in 2021 from the Trump administration involving antitrust issues, as well as an investigation into potential involvement and facilitation of the January 6 U.S. Capitol riots. With the social media platform growing more untrustworthy by the day, Facebook may have decided on this change as an attempt to reconcile some of their lost revenue and reassure users with a fresh new WhatsApp privacy policy. Unfortunately, they, at the very least, partially misunderstood their company's image at the current moment and ended up fanning the flames. So, what should we make of this situation? It's the conclusion that a huge chunk of users actively care about how their data is being used by Facebook. There exists some question as to if this is just a brand-specific issue with them, but it's obvious that millions of people are angry at a move that inherently changes very little about the app itself. As mentioned, the question becomes this: would this have happened if the Facebook brand wasn't tied to WhatsApp, and instead they would just be sharing data with a random parent company, or would it have been worse? Either way, the damage to Facebook's image continues harshly. It's always important to live your online life with privacy in mind. Maybe you're in the camp of people that don't care much about the WhatsApp change. plan to agree to the new privacy policy without a second thought, and use the messenger as normal. Or maybe you're additionally suspicious of Facebook's intentions here, and are moving your messaging habits to Signal or another alternative. One thing is clear, however, and it's that privacy and data management is becoming a more mainstream concern with internet users, and companies will have to acknowledge that and answer for their policies. Who knows, maybe Facebook is just the beginning, and there'll be an enormous 2021 crackdown on internet titans, such as Twitter, Google, and YouTube. All we can do is stay alert and keep our institutions of the web accountable, and remind them that without the user, there is no platform. Here's the bottom line. Backlash like this is a good thing because it reminds the companies that provide us services that we won't just accept every change they make. As consumers, it's our job to push back against changes that we feel aren't right, because the feedback we give will be forced to be acknowledged by them, or they run the risk of losing users the same way WhatsApp is doing with this latest controversy.